Hello everyone, welcome to the Sportsman Bet channel. My name is Stephen Howson, today joined by my mate Anton, and we are going to be talking about Liverpool going out of the Cup, the title race, the sack race, and Paul Scholes possibly coming back into football. Anton's going to be delivering the Sportsman Squirrel Acca. We are also going to be going deep on United and Spurs. Check it out. Right then, Anton, first things first, Liverpool are out of the Cup. Now, Jurgen Klopp doesn't seem to like winning trophies,
They don't, and we know that he played a very weakened side, and in the last 4 years now, he's been knocked out in the fourth round 3 times, and obviously the third round last weekend. What does that say? To me, that's disrespectful to the FA Cup.
It is disrespectful to the FA Cup, and I'm seeing a lot of Liverpool fans defending that, because I think they want to defend their manager, not because they actually believe this. And they're saying, we've got bigger fish to fry, we've got less games now than the other competitors. This is a Liverpool team that hasn't won the FA Cup, a major trophy, since Teddy Sheringham was still playing football.
And we know that record with Klopp in Cups goes beyond the FA Cup as well to other competitions. But you've got managers like Chris Wilder, who was absolutely raging at his side, Sheffield United side this weekend, raging at the performance, and that from Liverpool on Monday night was shocking.
I don't get the reasoning. I've seen a lot. Obviously, I was baiting a lot of Liverpool fans. United played a second choice goalkeeper. We had a teenage debutant. We had 8 changes to the team. United played a rested team, but we got through the round. Yes, we was only playing ready, but that's on the manager to pick a team that's going to get you through this competition. Liverpool, I think they're going to win the league, right? Let's just get that straight out there. I think they're probably going to win the league. I mean, wouldn't it be better to win a Premier League and FA Cup double than just a single Premier League title?
Of course, definitely. And you look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, a man who's played in the FA Cup, and you can see what it means to him. You can see what it means.
Right then, let's talk about the sack race. Now, Stoke did get rid of Rowett. Seems to be a lot of Stoke fans really happy with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and they've been poor for me this season. With the squad that they have, they're massive underachievers. I
thought a lot of people thought they was going to be real good favourites to come back up, not go down and just drop straight into the bottom half of the Championship.
And we know how potent that negativity can be with teams like Sunderland and what's happened to them in the past. It's such a dog-eat-dog league in the Championship.
Championship's brutal, isn't it? I mean, that's what makes it such a fun league to watch, because it is so brutal. But Oldham obviously now got an interim manager in place, but Paul Scholes is the favourite to get the Oldham job. Where's that come from?
Yeah, and I think he's priced at 2-1, and every time over the last 5 years or so that Oldham have changed managers, we see Paul Scholes' name floating around at the top of the market, and for me, I can't see it happening. He's not the bet to be had.
Who's betting on that then?
Mugs, I think, really. But for me, the bet is 2-1. Pete Wild, he's the great bet for me. I can see him getting the job, no problem. His passion speaks for itself.
I've had a couple of mates that work at Oldham in recent years, and they was really happy for Pete getting the job. I think he's really well thought of. So if I was going to be betting on this, I think I'd ignore the hell out of Paul Scholes. And I think Pete is probably the man to be sticking the money on then. Puel, still the favourite to get sacked. I can't get my head around this. Every week recently, they're about as... I mean, FA Cup aside, they're doing about as well as you would expect them to do in the league. Why are they just not taking to
Leicester fans need to be very careful what they wish for. They're 7th in the Premier League. About as good as it gets, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, ignore the fact that you won a title not too long ago. Realistically, that was a fluke. Realistically, 7th is about as good as you're getting. Definitely. Especially when you've been selling your best players recently.
And
don't get it.
We know they played a weakened side for the FA Cup last weekend. Jamie Vardy was rested, not even in... I think he was on the bench, was he maybe? But... Leicester 7th, come on, get real.
Rafa Benitez then?
He's got a lot to answer for, if you ask me. They've been really poor of late, and it's been the manner of the performances. If it weren't for a certain Solomon Rondon up front, they'd be in even a worse state.
Well, he's come out and said that he thinks they'll be lucky to stay up. I disagree with that.
You can't say that it'd be a miracle for your own team to stay up. Do you know what I mean?
Especially when it wouldn't be a miracle for Newcastle to stay up, would it?
And I think he's just had enough for Mike Ashley, which... we all have, in fairness, haven't we?
8-1 for Rafa Benitez to get the sack next in the Premier League in the sack race. Sackrace.com if you want to go and check out who's going to be up for the sack, essentially. But Sarri's in the mix as well now. With there's Chelsea fans not happy with them after the brilliant start that you had.
Funnily enough, those two meet this weekend, and I can see Chelsea coming out on top. They're at home against Newcastle, so that 8-1 may look quite big come Monday morning after they've been spanked down at Chelsea.
It could happen. It could happen. It could happen. It definitely could happen. Right then, Anton has got the Sportsman Squirrel ACCA. They've just delivered it for us, so Anton's going to tell us it. He isn't the Sportsman Squirrel, but he has got the ACCA that they're going to be sticking on this week. Do you want to give it us?
Yes, I have been speaking to the Squirrel once again, and he's got his nuts out for us this week with a fourfold. And the first part of the bet is Liverpool to beat Brighton. And they're away at Brighton this weekend. And
Tough place to go, though.
It is. Brighton's home record compared to their away record is there's a massive contrast. They're much the better side at home. But I do see Liverpool winning this quite convincingly. You don't get to be 4 points clear at this stage in a league with Man City in without playing some excellent stuff. And we know how many players he rested on Monday night. They do have a few injury worries at the back though, but for me, Liverpool win. The second part of the ACCA this week is Chelsea to play Newcastle, and Chelsea are at home here. And I was actually up at St James's Park last Saturday watching Blackburn in the FA Cup, and it was a terrible performance from Newcastle. I know they rested some players, but there were just nothing there. It were bottleless. So for me, Chelsea win. Next part of the bet, we've got Southampton away at Leicester. Southampton have been rejuvenated under Ralph Hasenthal, and they've played some exciting stuff. They've really impressed me with the intensity, and the press that they've been putting on has been outstanding. Nathan Redmond in particular needs a mention. And for me, the bet here is Southampton double chance, which means they can win or draw. And if you want that as a single, that's about 10 to 11 as a single. But it's strong enough to go in my ACCA this week. And the final leg comes on Sunday from Liverpool, where Everton take on Bournemouth. And we know Bournemouth like a high-scoring game. Yeah, it should be. I'm expecting goals. And we had the similar game down at Bournemouth a few weeks back when they hosted Watford, 3-3 at half-time, I think it was. I'm going for goals here. Both teams to score. So that's my fourfold for this week from the Squirrel. And that's Liverpool, Chelsea, Southampton double chance, and Everton v Bournemouth, both teams to score. £10 returns 50. A nice 4-1 shot. There we go.
That's not bad, but you see, the Squirrel gets it wrong, mate, because for me, it's all about going deep. If you're going to win, you might as well win big, and I have got an absolute stonker for you today. So if you want to win big this weekend, the bet that I am going for is going to be, it's a little bit different to what the Squirrel's saying, because there's a couple of the games that they've got in there. I'm going for Brighton and Liverpool to draw. I think there's going to be a little bit of a crisis. I'm hoping, more than thinking, let's be honest, but I'm hoping there's a little bit of a crisis of confidence. Same with City. I'm going City Wolves to draw, Brighton Liverpool, them are both to draw. Then it's just a load of wins, essentially. I'm going for Burnley to beat Fulham, because Fulham are awful. I am going for Leicester to beat a rejuvenated Southampton. I just think they've got more than Southampton have got, especially on the road. Definitely going for Chelsea to be beating Newcastle. I am going for, this is where the odds really start to get giddy with it, it's United to beat Spurs. I can't bet against United, can I? I'm going for Arsenal to beat West Ham, and that's coming in a little bit over, around about 2,800 to 1, which means a tenner is going to get you almost 30 grand. Have I said anything crazy in there? There's a couple of bets that you go, that's a bit iffy, but not loads.
You'll be retiring on Monday, put it that way.
If you fancy that, that's where you can get it. The link will be in the description. 2,800 to 1, and it's just a couple of draws and United to beat Spurs. What's the matter with you? Get it on. Speaking of United versus Spurs, I believe you've got a special bet for us for this game.
Yes, and I can see there being goals in this one. I'm going for a correct score. I'm going for 2-2, which is priced at 12 to 1, and it's quite a hard game to analyse and predict, isn't it, Stephen?
We haven't seen Ole Gunnar Solskjaer come up with a hard team. He had 5 games where he had a free hit, and we was like, that's 5 winnable games. But a lot of the games that we've dropped points this season have been winnable games. Arguably Derby in the League Cup was a winnable game. We just didn't win it. So the fact Ollie's gone out and won 5 out of 5, he's definitely brought the fear back a little bit, I think, to United. If he's able to make it 6v6 versus Tottenham, a lot of people are going to sit up. And a lot of people are going to really start demanding that Ollie is given the opportunity to finish what he started. And I think that's fair enough, because I think if he manages to beat a Pochettino team away to Spurs, where he's had them settled, on paper that team annihilates United. Yeah. So if Ollie goes to there and he takes it to them and he beats them, not only does he then probably get so far ahead in terms of everybody else, in terms of the favourite for the full-time job, it also gives us a bit of a blueprint for what we could do against Liverpool and Paris coming up as well. And we've also now got Arsenal in the FA Cup. So there's a lot of really meaty games coming. But if he starts to come through these...
There is, definitely. And you look at the kind of form from Paul Pogba of late, and he's really showing us what he can do now.
Them first 3 games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Paul Pogba was the best player in the world.
And if you do fancy a bet on Pogba to score any time, you can get 5-2 about that, which is £10 returns 35. And with the form he's in, I'd be fancying that one.
That's not a bad one. Yeah, and I think 2-2 is not a bad shout as well, because it could go either way. We could turn up there and get beat. We could turn up there and put it on them. And obviously we could also draw. So
it's going to be a big learning curve for Solskjaer, isn't it?
Massive. Very, very interesting game. Definitely make sure you tune in to that one. Now, City play Wolves on Monday night.
And we know that Wolves have that incredible record against top 6 sides this season. They've been an absolute nightmare in the betting. I know myself. They got beat at home to Huddersfield 2-0, but yet they've had taken points off United.
They just
City.
do it against the big teams, don't they?
Yeah. They
Ruben
beat
Neves
Liverpool
as well. I mean, I will be amazed if he's still at Wolves next season.
Yeah, and I think Ruben Neves has now scored 9 goals for Wolves. One of them was a penalty. The rest were from outside the area.
Unbelievable.
Entertainment.
Right, that is what we are going for this week. If you would like to get involved in any of those, then hit the description and find all the links there. You can also sign up as well if you get into the description, so why wouldn't you go and do that? There's loads of offers on for signing up. From me, from Anton, from everyone at The Sportsman, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.